At LHTC Broadband, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. We're your local choice for TV, phone, and internet. We offer high-quality cable TV service with HD, multi-room DVR, on-demand, and watch TV everywhere. Plus unlimited calling, and our internet is faster than ever with speeds up to 1 gigabyte. With no contracts and local customer service, switching has never been easier. Call today, 724-593-2411, or visit lhtcbroadband.com.
Next on Westmoreland Saturday morning, it's Heritage Happenings brought to you by Saint Vincent College here on 98.7 Westmoreland Gold, 1480 WCNS, and westmorelandgold.net.
Greetings, Westmoreland County. My name is Jessica Petrovich, and I am your Discover Westmoreland Director and host of Heritage Happenings here on 98.7 Westmoreland Gold, 1480 WCNS, and westmorelandgold.net, sponsored by Saint Vincent College. Heritage Happenings is also available as a podcast on all of your favorite streaming services. Please check out Westmoreland Heritage at westmorelandheritage.org and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates on cultural and historical events throughout Westmoreland County. We have a marvelous show planned for you today. We will be joined by a team of Saint Vincent College students who are running the brand new Rachelle's 15650 coffee and sandwich shop in downtown Latrobe. And, you know, we're talking in the morning here. I am craving coffee and a sandwich, so this is the perfect time to talk about this. Our guests, Matthew Minkin, Matthew Klasnick, and Emily Bosch are all on call with us from Saint Vincent College. Matthew, and Emily, thank you all so much for joining us today. If each of you could take a turn, so I know there's three of you on call with us, to introduce yourselves and tell us about your work as a student at Saint Vincent. What are you majoring in? Any extracurriculars you're involved in? I'd love to hear from each of you.
This is Matthew Minkin. I'm a political science major and a computer science minor at St. Vincent, and I'm a junior. And I transferred to St. Vincent as going into my sophomore year, so I've been here for just over 2 years now.
Wow.
And been a member of the men's volleyball team the whole time, and that's pretty much taken up all of my time.
And Matthew, when you transferred, was it for volleyball that you switched to St. Vincent, or what brought you?
I was looking for a school around Pittsburgh that had volleyball. That was pretty important to me. I came from a pretty solid volleyball program in the Midwest, and my girlfriend lives in Pittsburgh, so I wanted to be pretty near Pittsburgh and come back to Pennsylvania.
Oh, very nice.
I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so.
Oh, well, welcome back. That's great.
Yeah, thank you.
This is Matthew Klasnick. I am a junior at St. Vincent. My major is business management with minors in operational excellence and philosophy.
Wow.
I am also a member of the men's volleyball program. I transferred here. I also transferred to St. Vincent. I transferred during my freshman year, the spring semester, from Penn State University.
And Matthew, so you transferred, was it kind of the same thing? You wanted something closer to home? I'm not sure where you're from. Volleyball, what was the reason for your transfer?
So I grew up in Latrobe. So I went to Penn State, and I just quickly realized it was not the right fit for me. I moved back home during the fall semester of my freshman year, and knew I wanted to play volleyball again. I missed it and wanted to stay close to home, and St. Vincent was kind of just a perfect fit for all of that.
Oh, well, that's wonderful to hear. I love that both of you have found a new home in St. Vincent. That's really...
Yes, we have.
That's great. And Emily, what about you?
Hi, this is Emily Boche. I am a junior double major in mathematics and psychology. I am the vice president of the math club. I'm also a tutor for math, and I'm involved in some of the theater performances, too, at St. Vincent.
There was one just recently, wasn't there?
There was All Shook Up. Unfortunately, I couldn't participate in that one just because of everything starting up with Rachelle. I really didn't have the time for it. I was involved in Clue, which was the fall drama, and I recently tried out for Legally Blonde, which is happening in April.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry. I mispronounced your last name earlier, Emily. Forgive me.
That's okay. That's okay.
And I just love hearing from all of you. You know, we're going to talk about Rachelle's, don't worry, but I want everybody listening to remember that, you know, you are all students, you have your classes, you have these amazing extracurriculars. So this is like the cherry on top of everything that all of you are involved in. It's amazing to think about, you know. I don't know how anybody has the time to do all of this, and you all are excelling. So I'm really honored to talk to all of you this morning about Rachelle's and this brand new program.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
Of course. And one of you, if you'd like, and, you know, you can pass the mic around, if you could tell us the story of how Rachelle's 15650 came to be. And of course, the name, I'm assuming, is a call out to the zip code of Latrobe. But I'm curious that, you know, Rachelle's and where did that name come from, and just the whole founding story.
Absolutely. So this all started, we all kind of believed it was going to begin as an internship. Dr. Mallory and a former Saint Vincent employee, Rachel Moore, approached me, myself, Matthew Klasnick, and Matthew Minkin with the opportunity to be a part of Rachelle's, and they asked us, you know, who else we thought would be involved, and we went to Emily and our fourth member who's not able to be on the call, Matthew Furr, and it kind of just grew from there. We gave a presentation, and the owner, John Barrett, who was gracious enough to set up this entire project through the school and push for that, and began this project with us and gave us a lot of control in this and a lot of trust in believing that we can pull this off. We have worked extremely hard to make it happen, and I think that, you know, it's something that we're all very proud of. The name, obviously the 15650, stems from the zip code of Latrobe, and the name Rachelle's is our owner, John Barron's daughter.
Oh, that's very nice. And so this gentleman who owns the property, did he want it to be a coffee and sandwich shop? Is that something that you all were able to decide together? What was that his vision? Where did that come from?
So that was his vision, was a coffee and lunchtime shop. Like, the bigger part of his vision was to have St. Vincent students run it and be able to pass it down whenever we all eventually graduate and move on into, you know, either other careers or graduate schools or wherever each of us end up. So his the lunchtime coffee shop was his vision, but the whole purpose for him doing this was to have students be able to operate it.
That is really touching. And I'm sorry, I may have missed this if you said it earlier, but was he a graduate of St. Vincent, or how is he connected to the college?
He grew up in the area of Latrobe and moved out of Latrobe, I believe, in the 80s, and started a construction company in Texas. He did very well for himself, and he's been very successful in business, and wanted to come back and do something, you know, good for the community, help revitalize Latrobe. And I think, you know, he can recognize that, you know, the joining of Latrobe and St. Vincent and trying to integrate them is great for everyone involved.
Yeah, and I'm just so, you know, touched by this entire story. I grew up in Latrobe myself, too, and the transformation of Main Street, especially in the last few years, has just really, I mean, it's the area was not looking too good for a while, and now all of these new shops are opening, and to have St. Vincent students involved is really special. So I'm glad for this guy to have this vision and involve all of you. And I know you mentioned a little earlier, Matthew, but I'd love to hear again individually from each of you how you became involved with this project and what your role has been so far with Rachelle's.
You mentioned a little bit about it. The school approached us. Well, John approached the school. John, our owner, approached the school originally, and the school approached us through different interactions we had in the past, and we were offered up as pretty good candidates for this role. So personally, me and Matt were, I guess, the first two members, and then we brought on Emily and Matt Furr. My title is operations manager, so I've been working with wholesalers. Some of our wholesalers, I've been helping out Emily with marketing and social media. So and obviously we're all working in the shop as baristas, or as we call them, artisans.
Now, did you have to have training for being a barista? I'd imagine. I mean, I make my Keurig coffee every morning, but that is not the same as, lattes or mochas or anything like that.
John actually reached out to several consultants when we were first starting up, and one of them was TJ Fairchild, who runs Commonplace Coffee, which is originally out of Indiana, Pennsylvania, but has now expanded into different parts of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And they're a super successful coffee company, and now they do roasting and they also do consulting. So TJ, his main job right now is consulting. So whenever we needed basically anything related to coffee or related to our equipment, TJ was there, and he brought another guy that works for him to teach us all how to use the equipment and how to make fantastic lattes.
Wow. Okay. Now I know what my next career move is going to be as a coffee consultant. That is just amazing. Now, and you mentioned earlier, so you're also the operations manager and you're dealing with all of these wholesale individuals. Have the supply chain issues affected anything with coffee? Maybe like paper cups? I don't know if you've run into any issues like that at all.
We work with several wholesalers, and a lot of our disposables come from a restaurant supply, and just our coffee specifically comes from Commonplace Coffee. So they haven't had, I don't know the full details of their operation, obviously, but we haven't had many issues with that. I think by the time we were starting up, a lot of the issues in our particular industry had been relatively cleared up.
Good.
So we haven't had that many issues with that. As far as wholesalers, I mostly work with our bubble tea product and then also our disposables. So with that, we haven't had too many issues with that. Sometimes delays in shipping, but that can be expected in the best of times.
Yes, absolutely.
Certainly through COVID times.
And I'm going to bookmark that you mentioned bubble tea. We're going to come back to that because I'm not sure if everybody realizes what an amazing thing bubble tea is. So don't let me forget to ask you about that later.
All right.
And Emily, what's your involvement with Rachelle's? I know Matthew just mentioned that you do some of the marketing and social media. What else are your roles there?
So I have the title of frontline manager. So pretty much any day-to-day operations of the coffee shop, I'm in charge of. All three of the mats they're all on the volleyball team. So, if they have a game or practice, the other employees kind of refer to me if they have any questions. And usually I'm in and out of the shop, just keeping up on, every pretty much everything that's going on in the shop. I do a good bit of the creative work. So as Matthew Macon had said, some of the social medias, which he's really been helping out a lot with that. And then any of the decorating that's going on inside of the shop, a lot of events, and we're also coming up with some new drinks. So trying to throw a little creativity.
And that's great. Springtime is the perfect time to debut a lot of those fun new drinks also. And
absolutely.
I am so sorry to say, I live so close and I have not made it in yet, but talking to you all, I need to go in person, and I've seen pictures, and really, the inside of the building is just absolutely beautiful. It's the perfect spot for students to gather, for community members to gather. Just really, really well done to all of you on that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely a little hole in the wall in Latrobe. So you gotta stop in for sure. Open every single day except Monday. So
yeah, and I forget who it was. Somebody brought me a bubble tea from there. So I'll move on then to this is jumping.
You gotta try everything. You gotta get a latte next time you come.
This is jumping ahead a little bit, but I'd love to hear about your menu offerings, whichever one of you would like to tackle that, and if you could introduce the concept of bubble tea to our listeners, that would be great.
Yes, absolutely. So from our drink side, we definitely like to hang our hats on our lattes and our bubble teas. Our lattes, as Matthew Minkin mentioned, we had extensive training on exactly how to do it and how to make it correct. We always use this term that we got from TJ Fairchild. It was the zone of deliciousness, and I'll let him trademark and copyright that. But he brought that term to us, and we honestly, at first, it was this funny term, but it really is true because there is a a metric for making delicious coffee. And, you know, we've been trained pretty good on how to do that. So we really believe our lattes are incredible. And then bubble tea is, again, as you had mentioned, it's something not everyone may know about, and it's a very different drink. It's a very sweet drink, a sweet milk tea, and it has bursting balls in the bottom, or jellies as another option. And we have many different flavors of powders, many different flavors of the bursting balls and the jellies to provide to our customers, and they can make any combination of those flavors and the additives that what they would like. So it's a very different drink, but it's been extremely popular with everyone that's tried it. And we've had so many people come in and not know what it is, and we explain it, and they want to try it, and we get incredible compliments. I'm
pretty sure the one somebody brought me was lavender flavored. Was that one of your offerings? It was purple.
If it was purple, that would be our taro option.
Okay. It was delicious.
Yes, it is an extremely popular one. And then on our food side, we have recently introduced our house-made breakfast sandwiches, which have had incredible reception. And then we offer a small selection of sandwiches, grilled cheeses, and salads as well.
And your coffee is sourced from Commonplace Coffee. Is there a particular vendor that you go to for the food? Oh, and for the bubble tea, too. I should ask about that. Are those also coming from Commonplace, or is there a different vendor that you're using?
So we use lots of different vendors. Commonplace handles all of the coffee equipment, coffee beans, everything along that line. We get all of our meats and cheeses and anything else that we may need for our food from U.S. Foods, and we prepare it all in the shop. And then our bubble tea is the same way. We get everything from a company called Q Bubble, and we get all of that and then prepare everything in the shop.
That's great. And, stepping back from the fact that this is a coffee shop for a moment, just reminding everybody that this is totally student run. It's just amazing to me that you all are given the total operation of this place. And of course, with a little bit of assistance from the owner and from, did you say Dr. Mallory was the professor at Saint Vincent, or I guess the administrator who was helping?
Yes. He began the initiative, and we still speak to him. The vice president, he's the vice president of the college. And so we will go and speak to him on a pretty regular basis, just tell him what's going on, and we bounce ideas off of each other. And he's been extremely helpful and extremely supportive of us throughout this journey.
That's wonderful, and I'm just endlessly impressed. This whole conversation, my mind's kind of blown from everything. And we'll step away from the menu because now I'm getting hungry. And I want to ask all of you, what has the response from the community been like so far, both the Saint Vincent community and the Latrobe community as a whole?
So in terms of the Latrobe community, we have had an overwhelming positive response from everyone. The city it's a really beautiful small city, and we feel as though there was just a lot of just like a decline in some businesses. And so with these smaller businesses starting up, the community is just a lot happier that, it's bringing back a really, that small town vibe that you want.
Yes.
In terms of the Saint Vincent College students, obviously we have been just nonstop talking about to our friends, strangers, professors, anyone that we can, and everybody has given their full support, which we are so appreciative of. Almost every single day we have Saint Vincent College students coming in. We've had professors that have wanted to hold class in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's just overall been a really great response, and everyone is super supportive. And not only are they supportive, but they want to help us. For example, some students from St. Vincent do photography, and, there might not be some programs yet where they can really showcase their abilities. And so they have come in, they have offered to take product photos for us, take photos at our grand opening. So not only has the community given us a positive response, but we have also responded to the community And it's definitely a two-way street, and it's been a great experience because of it.
And Emily, let me ask you also, you have this involvement from students in different clubs, and I think that you or Matthew had mentioned earlier that, you are overseeing everything, but you also have other students who work for Rachelle. So what's that process like, if you or someone else wants to speak to that, for hiring, your fellow students to work there?
Absolutely. So right now we have a great staff. Everyone's really enthusiastic and they love coming into work. But, since we are Saint Vincent College students, people are going to be coming and going, whether it's transferring or graduating. All of our students have applied through Handshake, which is the website that St. Vincent uses to apply to some different jobs. So we ended up getting a job posting listed on Handshake, and most of it was just people coming up to us and saying, hey, do you have some open spots at Rachelle's? I'd love to work there.
Wow.
And we were like, yeah, just go ahead to our Instagram, click on the link, and then go ahead and apply through there. And I mean, we had an overwhelming response from students who were wanting to apply. And it was awesome. And there's still students lined up that want to come in and work over the summer and want to work next year. And I mean, we're very open to pretty much anyone coming in. We want to get a wide variety of students coming in, not just people that we are familiar with. We want everybody to have the same opportunity.
And Emily, you mentioned something I wanted to ask too. I think, did two of you say that you're juniors and one sophomore?
Yes, we all graduated high school in 2019. So all, I guess you could say juniors. Matthew Furr is graduating this year, however.
Okay.
I will be graduating in 2023, and Matthew Minkin and Matthew Klasnick will be graduating the following year in 2024.
That's nice that it's staggered that way. You can kind of train somebody to take this on after you guys go on to other things, as Matthew mentioned.
Yeah, it would definitely be a little intimidating if all four of the managers graduated the same year. So whereas we would love to come in as one and leave as one, since we're all really good friends, it does work out really well that we'll have that staggered leaving of each of our managers, and we can bring in some new faces, and then who they can then pass the line down, pass the torch, as we say, and just keep this going through the future generations of St. Vincent.
And you mentioned, so were you all friends before working together for Rachelle's, or did this kind of bring you all closer together? What was that story?
So the three Matts, we all play volleyball together. So before we even started with the shop, the three of us were roommates about a month before we started in the shop. So we were really good friends, and Emily was on the girls volleyball team.
Oh, nice.
And the boys and girls volleyball team are very close. It's basically our group of friends right there. So we were all great friends before that.
I'm admiring all of you again, because while running this with your friends is amazing, I'm sure that there's challenges too, but it just sounds like everything has worked so nicely, and it's wonderful to have the support of the community around you as well. And we're almost out of time here. I can't believe we've filled up the entire episode. Any special events coming up for 2022, or anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to share from Rachelle's?
Sure. So it's not been fully publicized at this point, but we have a club from the school that wants to do a fundraiser in the shop. So like we were saying, we got a lot of interest from the school. So we have that going on later this month. Also, something we've done once before, but we're going to continue doing with upcoming spring sports is we have TVs in the shop, so we're doing watch parties for St. Vincent Sports.
Oh, cool.
So we're inviting everyone from school or anyone, to come in. We'll have special deals on certain products and come in and watch the sports, because we want to support St. Vincent Sports. We're all athletes. We love when people come to our games, and it's a little tough to just sit there and watch a game in your dorm room. It's much more exciting to go with a group to a shop, get a coffee, get a bubble tea, cheer with everybody else. I think those are our two main events going forward right now. We're working with the school on other things, but at this time, I think that's what we're looking for right now.
That's wonderful. And I wanted to ask, too, about over the summer. So I want to assure the listeners, and Emily, you had mentioned this as well, that students are going to be able to staff the shop over the summer. So this will be a year-round endeavor. Do you anticipate keeping open except for Mondays? Will there be any sort of schedule changes, or is that still a little too far out to tell?
So that is probably a little far out for us to tell. We're going to kind of address that the closer that we get. We will be open, though. So, again, our days of operation will stay the same throughout the summer. We will, the managers, be in and out. I grew up here. I live here. So I will be here for the entire summer. I believe Matthew Macon will also be here for the entire summer. So, we will definitely be open for the summer. Some things may change operationally, but, that's also a really good time for us to, try to introduce new things in our ever-expanding department of drinks that we're trying to provide just an option for anyone that comes into the shop that, they can have something to drink. So, we're looking at a lot of different things, but we will 1,000% be open for the entire summer. And
wonderful.
It's very exciting for us.
Well, Matthew, Emily, and Matthew, I want to thank you all so much for your time. This has just been a really special conversation, and I'm also a Bearcat alumni, so it does my heart good to see such wonderful things coming from Saint Vincent. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please check out Rachelle's 15650 in downtown Latrobe at rachelle's15650.com and on Facebook. This is Heritage Happenings, the show with the latest information on Westmoreland County cultural and historical events and organizations. I'm Jessica Petrovich. Thanks to our sponsor, Saint Vincent College, for supporting our show today. That's all we have time for today. Be sure to stay safe and healthy. Take some time to visit and enjoy our Westmoreland County cultural and historic sites and events. And of course, be sure to check out Saint Vincent College and all of its recent accomplishments, including Rachelle's 15650 at 335 Main Street in Latrobe. Follow Westmoreland Heritage on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and check out all of our information on westmorelandheritage.org. This has been Jessica Petrovich, your Discover Westmoreland Director and host for Heritage Happenings here on 98.7 Westmoreland Gold, 1480 WCNS, and westmorelandgold.net, sponsored by Saint Vincent College. Heritage Happenings is also available as a podcast on all of your favorite streaming services. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Until next time.
How will your college experience transform you? How will you learn to make a difference in your life and the lives of others? At Saint Vincent College, we attract high-achieving students who quite naturally place we ahead of me. A small college like Saint Vincent gives you more access to the opportunities that will shape your future.
At Saint Vincent College, we succeed together.
Together. Discover the power of we. Learn more now at stvincent.edu.
At LHTC Broadband, we're proud to provide the communication services you need to get the most from today's technology. We're your local choice for TV, phone, and internet. We offer high-quality cable TV service with HD, multi-room DVR, on-demand, and watch TV everywhere. Plus unlimited calling, and our internet is faster than ever with speeds up to 1 gigabyte. With no contracts and local customer service, switching has never been easier. Call today, 724-593-2411, or visit lhtcbroadband.com.